Hello everybody, welcome back to Indigo Islands in Planet Coaster. This is Indigo here, and today I am mainly focusing on the backstage area and the plaza which you walk into after going through the main entrance. As you can see, I'm setting up a few cars. At the time that this was recorded, which was a long time ago, I had just got the Studios pack, so I will be putting in loads of the awesome new cars inside my main entrance. I won't have to rely on the awesome vehicle pack which some guy made. So as you can see, I'm currently working on the backstage area. It's because mainly I'm working on it now because the Studios pack brought so many backstage areas. I mean, I waited for that single fence item rather than using any other fence because it just looks so good for the backstage area. So a lot of this I'm not actually going to be very sure of what I'm doing because this was such a long time ago, but I'm just putting around some general litter, a few rubbish. These aren't, you might be thinking, these aren't the best working conditions, but this isn't meant to be a super realistic park, it's just meant to have some realistic elements, so I'm going to really emphasise the fact that this is backstage, the other place is the luxury world of happiness. So I'm putting down some warning signs. I'm changing those up because those are actually like vans, not transport vehicles. I'm not sure what the difference is. These are vans, but they're more transporty, more stuff for storage. Just putting down some crates here because that's the deliveries. It just makes sense. A few boxes there. Then pallets. Just chucking those down because they look pretty good. Some cans, newspapers of all the brilliant reviews that this place gets. Yeah, there's not really a lot to talk about here, except for the fact that it's just a backstage area. It's got a sped up creation process. I really like those new lights. I feel like the amount of lights that we have is fairly limited. I'd love to see a DLC or an update that would just bring lights. Just loads of new lights, but I really like those downward lights. They look very, very cool, very, very rustic. So I'm doing this in the dark. I quite like the lighting of this area. It looks very good. And now, well, very soon, I'm just putting in the road markings. Very important. I love myself some car parks, evident by the massive car park, which is inside this park. Well, on the outside of the park, but yeah. So just chucking in my road markings, ready for some vehicles. As you can see, I'm just taking a little shortcut there. I always like taking shortcuts, even though sometimes the shortcuts can be a bit longer than otherwise. So this section was where it really got tedious and very long, and where I just really wanted to give up with this bit. Yeah, I just skipped. Just skip the creation of the car park because it's so long. But now I move on to probably the most interesting part of the video, my main entrance plaza. So at the beginning you'll see there's a lot of ideas sketching, generally just sketching out path. Now I wanted to use the pavement pieces and have a little road down the middle. This is a very Main Street thing which will kind of take you into the centre of where all the islands, so there'll be different entrances that will lead off to a bridge which lead on to the different islands, because of course these are different islands for each different theme. You can just see me here. I'm trying to lower that slightly, and then I decide to have I have a pretty good idea. Well, firstly the whole ground was uneven for the path, but I decide to actually put in the pavement first, just to get an idea on how far I'll have to push it down so that it actually moves down. So I'm just slowly pushing that down. I do end up putting that out, just a little arching person there, just so I don't pull it down too far. As I said in my previous video, the archer is a really good basis on the size of people. So I love the new pavement pieces. I just love the Studios pack. It is so good. It has brought such good general scenery, really good general scenery. Some scenery which is not at all stylized. It's just plain and simple, and that's what I really like about it. I forgot to put in some bushes into those, and is my archer still there? I had that in the glamour shots. I kind of realised that after uploading it. Oh yeah, talking about my previous Planet Coaster video, I'm so sorry it is so loud. I didn't realise it was so loud after uploading. I'm not sure if YouTube failed, but it is very loud. Hopefully this one's quieter. But I had the idea of putting in a tram ride that goes through this centre drive, just as which serves no real purpose, in all honesty, apart from it's just a nice drive kind of thing. That was my initial idea, to have the path go over it. Of course, we still do need to be able to get to the other side, but I quickly ditched that idea and decided to make it go around. I'm just trying to position the tram ride so that it doesn't go too far underground. However, you can't see the track thingy, because that would not look very good, because it's meant to just be driven by a man driving just casually around. Okay, so here you can see I am now putting in that bit that goes around. That does get adjusted considerably very soon. Because all of this was recorded so long ago, excuse me, I will not be making the tram ride in this video. I have already made it. I have made a lot of stuff for this park. However, I have not made the tram ride yet in this video. So at the time at which this is made and this video will be up, the tram ride will not be finished. The entrance to the tram ride will be done in the next Planet Coaster video, probably. Yes, the next one. It should be. So this is just a final little bit of just essentially just mapping out how this whole thing is going to go. I'm now pushing it downwards, putting in some more trams and just leaving that to run, just so I can get a rough idea of what it will look like. And now a bit more terraforming, just a sudden look around, and now for the actual main plaza buildings, which none of them really serve any use, because what I found previously is that Plankos won't buy food or merch when they first enter the park, or at the entrance area. So most of the buildings here will be pretty useless, but here we go. Oh, these new building pieces are stunning. I love them. So I'm building a completely useless and not functional Hats Fantastic building here, and I am really pleased with how this has turned out. I'm kind of going for a Main Street, however, a bit American, I'm not sure. I'm basing these buildings off of a mixture of the Disneyland Paris or just Disneyland buildings in general, and Geekism's entrance plaza I took a lot of inspiration from. I tried to make kind of like a midpoint between them. I do end up changing those colours, not in this video, but in another video. I'll keep referencing other videos, excuse me for doing that. I'm just now trying to make this look as fancy as I can, because this is my first time ever using these pieces. I haven't done any practice with these. I'm just kind of hurling myself in. Adding some pillars there just to nicely break it up. Oh, the Quans, or how are you supposed to say them? They're just so nice. And now chucking in some windows up there, because there will be no building up there, just more storage probably. But it still looks pretty fancy. Wait, do I put windows in that? I'm not actually sure if I do. For some reason I decided to spend a good portion of time decorating that. However, then I realised not to put aircon up there, because there'll be people that will be able to look over there, which I didn't really prepare for. Some poles just going down there, more decoration, saving. There's not really much I can talk about. So begin off by trying to make that a gift shop, but then I decided to make it Hats Fantastic, and I'm really pleased with actually what I pulled off here. I kind of put in each different window a different theme, and this was a very good idea of mine, making the animatronics motionless so I can just grab their hats. A spooky one here now, using some cobwebs, very spooky. This bit I turn into a snowy area. These are all different themes that will be in the park. Then, I was really pleased with how this sign went. This sign was wow. It took me not very long at all to make, and it actually turned out very nicely. And I just think it looks very contemporary. Very obvious that this is a Hats Fantastic building, so it serves its purpose. And now I decided to put in a sci-fi helmet rack there. Not really sure what else I could have put there. And then just a few sci-fi decorations in the background. Not all the hats are the same scale, that's just a general hat stall there. Now this is more of like a shop thing, so I took the pirate characters and then I kind of twisted them around, because what you'll see in shops is they'll have a long strip of items just showing what they'll sell. So because these are actually sold in Hats Fantastic, I believe, I chucked these bad boys in, put a little rope just to hold them up, and then put in a storm lantern and a few barrels. And then I tried to make a fancy one there, but it just doesn't work, not at all, which was really annoying. So I'm not sure what I settle with, because again, this is a long time ago. Oh, just another general hats thing. So yeah, another little run around and back to the buildings. So these are now the most pointless buildings. They're just here to fill up gaps. This one I spend quite a while on. Just oh no, this is a restaurant. Now I remember, this is just a nice restaurant, which took me years, absolutely ages. This was a very mean man to build, because I had to do a full interior for a useless restaurant. So I had to put down, I used a lot of the new businessman animatronics, so I just chucked them all inside and made the inside look vaguely posh. This is a very posh restaurant. Yeah, again, there's not really much I could talk about in this. Most of the talking will go inside the building. So I just chucked those down. I chucked down any old building piece so that I can then put in some nice decorations. That doesn't work, so I then settle for the decking pieces. Do I? I think I do. Yes. And then I put in some nice wallpaper. Oh no, I get rid of the decking and I replace it with the marble. I thought that looked just a bit too cowboy. And then now I'm chucking in just a few decorations for the walls. Again, this is a very fancy place. I'd love to see some proper nice painting pieces. That'll be awesome. And now we go into the decorating of the interior. So this was extremely tedious. Because of the weird hitboxes in this game with clicking, I kept misclicking, trying to click one thing and I can't click it. I kept clicking the table, having to move things. Oh god, this interior was horrible. I'm not very good at interior as it is, and now I'm really hurling myself into a deep end of having an interior scene which just has to look good because people will be walking by. So adding a little, that's the way to the kitchen. So I put in a nice little kitchen sign there, because why not? And then I use that as a little computer, which is very old-fashioned, a very old-fashioned computer. And I begin to sit my men around. I realised that I tucked in the chairs too much, because I thought, why would I want this to be an empty building? This is meant to be a very nice restaurant. So I then just began chucking in at random just a bunch of people. It was mainly the recolouring that was the painful part, because just clicking on them is, you keep clicking the wrong thing and it's really annoying. For the interior, for interiors, I love the spooky DLC pack, because I mean, this is 90, apart from the people, this is pretty much all, the entirety of this interior in fact, is spooky pack, all apart from the desk, the computer and the people. Everything else is spooky pack, which is just shows how good the DLCs are in this game. Okay, so that's them done. I nicely coloured them all up, they're all nice and varied now. And now I decide to put down some tables and chairs for a nice eating area. I decide to settle on the circle ones, because I just like the look of them. And then I chuck down some good old purple indigo canopies over them, so that people don't get sunburn, which is very, very nice. And now I just finish this up, I believe, with an information booth, which is pretty important. I'm just doing some walkthroughs for some reason, just reviewing everything. Oh no, I remember I was showing one of my friends what I'd done so far. And now I get back to the task at hand, and at any point we'll start building the next building. I kind of jumped into this voice recording very blindly, because I have no idea what part of these videos are, so I'm just kind of rambling on about exactly what I'm seeing. Yes, so here is my information booth. I decided to open that up for a little entrance to a staff only area, because again, why the hell not? I think I well disguised this area. I chuck those down, and then have to move that up. And oh god, the pathing system in this game is a bit gross, but I do manage to get it done. So I'm just trying to connect that to the path whilst making it touching the staff area. And this building is now very bare bones, but it will slowly take shape. That then continues on with a little wall over there with a door which says staff only. The good old staff only. Because it's important to tell people that it's for staff, because I don't want anybody to break in, mistaking it for another shop. Another Quan, and more windows. Just more of everything in this area. I then decided to make a little blue canopy for the information booth. Now I put in the little staff only sign. So now it's just a little plant pieces, and that is pretty much it for the video. Thank you all so much for watching this. If you did enjoy, a like and subscribe would be very much appreciated. Yeah, so I'll just leave you with the end of this time lapse, and then just a few glamour shots to wrap the video up. But there's really not much for me to talk about now, so yeah, see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.